The opening range breakout is one of the most popular trading strategies out there. The idea is super simple. I think it's easy for people to understand, so it's really popular. All you have to do is mark the high and low of the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever range you're trading. You mark the high and low of the range of the session that you're trading. You wait for price to break above or below those levels. You take a trade. Sounds easy, right? The problem is that most traders lose money with it. It's not because the strategy doesn't work. I use it. I make a lot of money with a strategy. The problem is that most traders are treating it the wrong way. So today I'm going to talk about the three biggest mistakes that I see traders making with the opening range breakout. I'm going to talk about how to avoid them. And then I'm actually going to show you some real live examples and a couple of tricks, some things that I add to my chart so I get extra confluence for when I want to take the trade. All right, let's dive into it. So real quick, here is our range. Let me get my drawing tool here. Let's say this is the first couple minutes of price action, and then we draw our range. This is our range high, and this is our range low. All right. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to be using the 15-minute opening range. We'll talk about different range options in one of the mistake number 3. But this is our range. So let's say this is the first 15 minutes of the session that I'm trading. I trade the New York session. This works for London. It works for any of the sessions that you want to use. So the first mistake, the biggest mistake by far, is that when price finally pushes outside of the range, people get excited. So if it breaks out of the range high, people get excited, they push the buy button, and then within minutes, price is right back inside of the range. You get stopped out and you wonder what happened. Here's what happened. The market often finds easy liquidity levels to stop people out. So retail traders, they place buy stops right at the high and sell stops right at the low, and institutions know this. So many times price will push through that level just enough to trigger orders before deciding whether it actually wants to continue. So I don't like chasing the initial breakout. What I do is I let the market show its hand. So I wait and see which end of the range breaks, if it breaks out to the top or the bottom, and then I want to see a pullback. So in this case, if buyers really are in control, it's definitely like if it does get a pullback, it's going to find support at some point. This, for one, gives me a better entry. I have a smaller stop loss, so I have a better risk to reward. And then there's more confirmation that the move is real. So the trade isn't the breakout. The better trade is often the retest. Sure, you'll miss some runners. There's going to be days where it just explodes out and never retests. You're going to miss some runners for sure. But you're also going to avoid a lot of false breakouts. All right, so that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is ignoring the bigger market context. So a breakout, we're looking at, the 15-minute range in the greater context of an hourly chart, 4-hour chart. So you have to ask, what is the market doing overall? Are we trending higher? Right? Like, are we below major levels? Maybe we have like a key. Let me get my drawing tool here. Maybe we have like a key resistance level right here, and you're trying to trade a breakout into this resistance, right? Or maybe we have VWAP. If you're a VWAP trader, which I am, maybe VWAP is like right below the opening range right here. And then if we're taking a short right into VWAP, which is a lot of times going to be a support, right? You're taking a short into support. Or maybe, what's the slope of VWAP? Is VWAP super flat, right? What's the greater market context? Are we inside of a larger range? Like maybe the last hour or 4-hour chart, we're kind of in this box, right? We're in a range. So the possibility of a breakout is not very likely. In that case, I actually trade the false breakout a lot. So You can either trade the opening range break, like I said in example 1, where it breaks out, it retests a level, and I'll show you a trick for that in a second. Retests a level, you take a trade on the continuation, or you can take what I call a fake breakout. So in this case, like it broke out, it hit this key high level, higher time frame resistance, you could potentially take a short. So that's the mistake number 2, is ignoring the higher time frame market context. So I always have my VWAPs on my chart, the daily VWAP, the New York anchored VWAP, and the weekly VWAP, so I can see what the greater market context is. I also put key levels on my chart. So previous day high and low, Asia high and low, London high and low, so I can see if we're getting into a resistance or a support area. I don't want to be trading into that. All right. So then look at, is VWAP flat? Is it trending? Those are all usually warning signs, okay? So sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. If any of those are giving you conflicting information, then don't take a breakout trade. Mistake number 3, and then I'll get into some actual examples and some tricks for how I trade this strategy with you guys. Mistake number 3 is using the wrong opening range. A lot of traders use the 5-minute opening range, which in my opinion is too volatile. There's still too much liquidity sweeps and the algos and all of that. It's not a good, safe strategy. So 15 minutes is the minimum opening range that I would recommend that you trade. A lot of people also do the 30-minute. And then I also trade the 60-minute opening range, which is also called the initial balance. So I actually have 2 ranges that I trade, the 15-minute and the 60-minute, and both of them I trade very similarly, all right? So these levels become extremely important for the rest of the session. The key is consistency. Whatever time frame you decide to mark off, the key is consistency. That way you can get to know your session, you can know your ticker, you can become familiar with how price reacts at those levels. The market rewards repetition and preparation. All right, so final thoughts before I get into some examples. Actually, let's dive into some examples really quick first, and then I'll kind of recap it for you guys. All right, so I have my indicator on here, showing you guys the 15-minute opening range for the New York session. All right, the yellow line is the high and the low for the opening range. Let's look at some examples here. So this is a good example of mistake number 1, just buying the breakout, right? So here, this candle right here actually broke out of the 15-minute opening range low. So those retail traders that I said, there's actually some YouTubers out there that recommend this as a strategy, and it's terrible. I hope you guys aren't doing it. But there's some people that will place a buy stop order. So as soon as it breaks out of the bottom of the range, you're in a short automatically. Same thing at the top. They place a buy stop order at the top. As soon as it breaks the high, you're gonna be in a long. In this example right here, look, it barely wicked out and then it retraced all the way to the middle of the range before continuing. So mistake number 1, right? You probably would have gotten super emotional, probably would have moved your stop loss a little bit, like, oh my gosh, too much risk. Why not wait for a retrace and then get a better entry, better risk to reward, right? More confirmation. So let me show you a trick for this. What I do is I throw VWAP onto my chart. So I use an indicator from Edgeful. So this is a paid indicator, but you can do the same thing manually. So this dark blue line right here, that's my daily VWAP. So it's anchored at the 6 p.m. open each day. And then this light blue line is the New York anchored VWAP. So it's anchored at the opening candle for the session. You can do the same thing with the London Open as well. But what I do is I wait for the breakout of the opening range, and then I wait for the retest of either the New York, either VWAP or the midpoint of the range. So let me throw on my Fibonacci here just to see where the 50% of the range is. And look, they're right in the same zone. The anchored VWAP and the 50% is right in the same range. So when it comes up to this zone, this is a much better entry, a much better risk to reward than if I had entered here, right? So I'll show you the difference. If you entered here, so there's our first scenario, you enter right at the break of the range. You're going to need to give yourself a wide stop loss to give it room to potentially retrace, right? So you want to put it above the midpoint of the range because it could come there, it could come a little higher. So maybe that's where you put your stop loss. And then if you're looking for like a 2-to-1, you have to go all the way down to here. Or if you're going to be a little more conservative and go for a 1-to-1, there you go. Let's say you go for a 1-to-1. That's your trade if you're taking the initial breakout of the range. Versus my strategy, where you wait for the retest, you're going to get a better entry because you wait for the retrace to the New York anchored VWAP and or the midpoint of the range. So I would wait for it to bounce at the New York anchored VWAP. I can have a little bit of a tighter stop loss, right? So this is like a 78 point stop loss versus the other one was 149 point stop loss. And then I can either target the bottom of the range, which is a super safe, like really high win rate strategy. That's a 1-to-1. Or I can go for more like a 2-to-1. So better risk to reward, right? Now I'm making on NQ 155 points off of that trade. And it hit. And it could potentially go lower. So that's an example of mistake number one. Why not wait for a retrace? Yes, like I said, there's the chance that you're going to miss the breakout. But if you backtest this, you'll see that the number of times that you avoid the loss are outnumbered by the amount of wins, and the higher win rate, the higher risk to reward that you get for waiting for that retrace. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of a good insight into the trick that I use on my entries. All right, so here's another example. Right here, it breaks out of the 15-minute opening range. It comes back and it retests this anchored VWAP. You can get in here, put your stop loss below that recent wick, target a 2-to-1. There you go. That was a win. As far as the target, what I do, this is everyone's different on their target. So you can go to a 2-to-1, 3-to-1. You could also look left for a level that makes sense. So maybe there's like a London high or an Asia high or a previous day high or some sort of consolidation zone or supply zone to the left that you want to target. All right. So that's how I do it. I do a target that makes sense. All right. So I don't want to bore you guys with too many examples. Hopefully that makes sense. But my final thoughts on this strategy is that the opening range trading strategy is not broken. Most traders are just simply executing it poorly. So the three biggest mistakes to recap: chasing the breakout instead of waiting for confirmation, ignoring the higher time frame market context, and then using random opening ranges without understanding why and how price moves and not being consistent with it. So I'll tell you, the market really, it loves to trap impatient traders. But wait for confirmation, right? Patience is your edge. Trade with the greater context in mind. And then remember, there's always another setup tomorrow. So if there is one of those days where it just goes and it never retests, oh well, let it go. There's always another opportunity, right? All right, you guys, see you in the next one.